Hello everyone, it's Eliza McNamara here to talk to you today about something which closely relates to a topic in one of my last videos. And in another video I was talking about the importance of allowing yourself to be excited about normal things and about life, instead of waiting for something like Christmas or the Melbourne Cup or Thanksgiving or whatever it is in your hometown to be excited. And I think one of the reasons why a lot of people who are following their dream may try and mitigate their excitement sometimes is because the people around them are caught up in this thing which we call tall poppy syndrome. And tall poppy syndrome is basically like, it's kind of like a bit like socialism. Basically, like tall poppy syndrome is basically like everybody needs to be on the same level, and there can't be too much of a gap between the rich and the poor, because if there's a big gap between the rich and the poor, then obviously there's something wrong. It doesn't mean that we're all normal. It's not a sign that some people are more productive than others, or that some people happen to work smarter and harder than others. No, it's just that it shouldn't be that way, and we should try and keep everyone on the same level. And you'll notice that if you're around people who are not very excited about life, and you're really excited, that they might try and bring you down. And they don't do this because they hate you. They do this because, one, they're jealous, but two, they don't know how to meet you on that level. So it's like they've either got to meet you on that level or try and drag you back down to their level. And I was reading this thing the other day in this magazine, and this man has written this book about Australia moving so much and changing so much. He's saying it should be the way it used to be. I can't remember, it was in some business magazine. And this person's doing a review on his book, and they're basically taking the mickey out of him, saying that why would he want Australia to go back to the way it used to be? Because this man, I think he was like 80 or something, so he's used to the way things were, in the 20s or 30s, and he wanted things to be like that again. And what this person was saying is that it's so important for us to move forwards and let go of the past and allow ourselves to move forwards, because Australia still has tall poppy syndrome more than England and America now. So I dread to think what it would have been like back then. So, and if you abhor tall poppy syndrome and you reject it and you don't allow that into your life, and you don't allow people to try and bring you down because they're not on your level, then you'll move towards wherever you want to go so much easier, because you won't have this guilt complex that a lot of people have if people around them aren't doing as well as they're doing. And it's normal for us to have a gap between the rich and the poor. If we didn't have that gap, then that would suggest that we were living in a communist country. And if you want to live in a communist country, then go and live in China or Russia or somewhere. You see how happy people are. Like, okay, China is going to be the next big thing, and they're moving towards being a very powerful country. But a lot of people have moved from China to Australia because they don't like the communism. And even recently, I've found a lot of people who are from there who have gone for a holiday haven't been that happy. So, I mean, really, the only way we can all be happy is if we allow ourselves to be on different levels, if we allow other people to be more successful than we are. And that doesn't mean that you can't grow and progress and meet them on their level. It just means that you've got to accept that the gap between the rich and the poor is normal. Like Margaret Thatcher was talking about it. And it was really, really funny, because she was taking the mickey out of somebody, because they were like saying that since she came into power, I mean, obviously this is a very long time ago, and she was basically saying that, well, it's great that the gap between the rich and the poor has grown since I've been in power. And that's what happened. When she was in power, the gap between the rich and the poor in England grew substantially. But not only that, the poorest people were actually richer, and the richest people were richer. whilst she was in power. And basically what Margaret Thatcher was saying is because that's how you create wealth and opportunity. And this other man who was arguing with her, I'll put a link to it in this video so you can see exactly what I'm saying. This other man says, oh, well, you know, how can you say it's been successful when the gap between the rich and the poor has grown? And she says, you do not create wealth and opportunity if you block people who are rich from becoming richer. That is how you kill opportunity. And I think a lot of people don't actually realise this. They don't actually realise that if you allow the rich to get richer, the poor will not actually get poorer. They'll actually get richer, because that's just the way the world works, you know. If you try and stop people from succeeding, then not only are you stopping that person from succeeding, but you're stopping them from being in a position to be able to help other people. And yeah, I have people every now and again, not too often now, because I tend to stay away from people like that, saying to me that I'm greedy and stuff like this. And it's like, why are you greedy for wanting more? What else gets you out of bed in the morning apart from wanting more for yourself and the people that you love? And if you don't want that, then there's something wrong with you. Truly, there is something wrong with anybody who does not want more for themselves and the people that they love. But there's this massive guilt thing in society. And for that reason, you've got to be really careful about what kind of media you intake. And I know all of my other videos recently have really gone into this in quite a lot of detail, but I really was just thinking about how tall poppy syndrome in the past stopped me from being excited in situations where I felt excited, and I wouldn't allow myself to express that excitement because the people around me weren't able to meet me on that level, and so I would block myself from feeling that excitement. And that was my responsibility. I chose to do that. I didn't have to choose to do that. I could have chosen not to do it. But having that awareness is so valuable, because then if you are excited and you are happy, and you know, like say somebody in the environment that you're in can't appreciate that, that's not your problem, and you don't judge them or anything. You just move away from them and you carry on being excited. It's so important that you allow yourself to be excited. And in NLP we talk about mirroring and matching, and one trainer, an English NLP trainer, says that the quickest way to get yourself kicked in or beat up is by mirroring and matching somebody. So, you know, mirroring and matching, if you're excited, let's say you're excited and you want to get somebody to be as excited as you are, you can copy their breathing, or you can copy their body language, or you can talk in a slower tone of voice. Like for instance, if somebody's really depressed and they're talking like this and they're really boring and depressing, then you can talk like that very briefly, you know, for maybe 10 seconds, and not in an exaggerated way, obviously in a less obvious way. And what you'll find is 9 times out of 10, if you do this in an intelligent, subtle way, obviously you don't want to be too obvious because it's just annoying, then people will move up their vibration. It's like if you're sitting in a room, you're in a conference or something, and somebody is rocking their leg back and forth, or they're tapping their fingers, or they're doing something that's really irritating. If you start doing it, and then you stop doing it gradually, then they'll stop doing it, because it's inbuilt in us. We're actually wired to copy the people that we are associating with. It's like if you're in a seminar, everyone at the front of the room, let's say, goes to the back of the room to buy something. The chances of the people in the rest of the room going and picking up something are so much stronger. That's why people have been known to actually pay people to pretend to sit in the front row and pretend to sign up, so the people in the back rows will be motivated to do something, because it's just the way we are. So if you're excited, mirror and match people who are on a lower vibration than you in a subtle way, and then they'll move up to your level. And if they move up to your level, they might not move up to your level completely. You might have to keep on doing something that they're doing. For instance, they're talking slowly. Once you talk a bit slower, they'll talk a bit faster. But then you can do it again, you see. You can keep doing it. And if you do it in a subtle enough way, then this can be really, really powerful and really help you in your communications.